ॐ वंशी विभूषितकरान्नवनीरदाभात् पीताम्बरादरुणबिम्बफलाधरोष्टात् पूर्णेन्दुसुन्दरमुखादरविन्दनेत्रात् कृष्णात् परं किमपि तत्त्वमहं न जाने। ॐ Welcome to the scripture class, and today's class is on the Uddhava Gita, the conversation between Uddhava and Sri Krishna, as told by Shukadeva to King Parikshit from the Bhagavatam, Srimad Bhagavatam, not to be confused with Bhagavad Gita. So Bhagavad Gita is a part of Mahabharata, which is considered Itihasa, and Bhagavatam is the Purana, scripture, Purana. So in the Bhagavatam, it is there. So we are on chapter 2. We just had two verses. Sri Bhagavan said, because our Uddhava said to Bhagavan that I want to listen to you with full attention about what should we do since you are going to conclude your Leela on this earth. What is your message for us who will be left behind? Without you, who will guide us? Please guide us before you leave. That was Uddhava's request and prayer to Sri Krishna. And Uddhava was one of the greatest bhakta, like Narada, like Prahlada, like Hanuman. Uddhava was of that category of bhakta. So, greatest bhakta of Sri Krishna. So Uddhava, Bhagavan said, earlier we have read, Yadatthama Mahabhaga Tatchikirsitameva me Brahma Bhavo Lokapala Swarvasam me Vikangshina. So Brahma and Bhava Shiva and all the Dikpalas had come, and they also want me to go back to my own abode, because I have finished the work that has been requested by Brahma to set the dharma on this world. So I'm going, Maya nispaditam yatra deva karyam ashesatah yadartham avatirnoham amsena brahmanarthita. Brahmanarthita. Brahma requested me to come back, come to this world, the world of his creation, and set it right. It had been gone wrong. So people had forgotten about their duty, forgotten about where real joy is. They had become materialistic and were suffering a lot. To remove their suffering by showing the way of spirituality and the path to real happiness, I have done that, and now my Leela, my purpose of this being incarnated as a human being, along with Angshena, means along with Baladeva or Balarama, which is Angshavatara, has done so, I also plan to leave this world. So he says, Sri Krishna says, Sri Bhagavan says to Uddhava. So these two verses we had already done in our last Uddhava Gita class. Now, verse 3. Kulam vai shapa nirdagdham nakshantyonya navigrahat samudra saptame yannetam purincha plavaishyati. Kulam tvai shapa nirdagdham. Now, Kula, our lineage, because of Shapanirda, because of the curse of the Brahmin sages, it is going to be destroyed. Nangshante means Nashyanti. Anya Vigraha, all will be all my lineage of Kuru Vangsha is going to be destroyed. Not all is destroyed, but those who are involved, the youth, the who had become arrogant, proud, and they had lost the path of devotion. They were born in the clan of Krishna. Still, they deviated from the path, right path. So that is how the Leela goes. And even one of the involved person who wanted to mock the rishis was his own son Shamba. Actually, that group had met Shamba as the leader and took him in disguise of a pregnant woman and asked to rishis what will be born from this lady, son or daughter. So the rishis and with the veil body and mushala or pestle, huge pestle tied to her outside stomach and then tied with a cloth as if she's a pregnant. She went to just tease and make fun of the rishis. So rishis understood that and they cursed the clan that when mushala or the pestle will be born from it, and the whole clan will be destroyed by that. That was the thing. And Krishna also says, okay, the curse has been given. Kulam by shapa nirdagdam. It has been burned by the shapa. Nangshantyonyonya vigrahat. Now, with all other things, that will be also lost. They will go nangshanti. They will be finished because the curse has come from rishis. Samudra Saptamenetam Purincha Plaveshati. Not only they will be lost, but this beautiful Dwaraka Puri will also be drowned in the water of the oceans. Sapta Samudra, it will be submerged in short time. So that is all Sri Krishna knew. What is created is destroyed. He had made that city so beautiful, his kingdom, but knowing that what is good and existing today in the world of Maya, another day, one day it is destroyed and all gone. That's how it goes. And in front of Krishna's eyes, this all is happening. And he's accepting the things that are happening in this world. This is the non-attachedness of Sri Krishna. He's not perturbed. He's not worried. This was to happen. This is happening by the power of Maya. In Maya, things go all like that. So, whole this thing, whether creation or destruction, is doesn't matter with the whole or the Brahman. But for this creation, which just seems to be, it matters to this. Ultimate sense, there is nothing, doesn't matter at all. It seems, it comes, and it goes back to, again to the source of its coming. That's it, as if it is presented, it's growing, and then it again is lost, destroyed. That's what. And Sri Krishna, for Sri Krishna, it is no problem. It says it will happen that way. Now, Sri Krishna, after saying the reality of the created this world, after he comes down spiritual teaching. Yerhi vayam maya tekto lokoyam nashtamangala bhavishyan bhavishyati achirat sadho kalinapi nirakrita. O noble soul, as soon as I leave this world, it will be shorn of its well-being and will soon be overtaken by Kali, the spirit of the dark age. So difficult times are coming, says Sri Krishna. Sri Krishna was, as it were, holding the Kali to enter, the difficult bad times to come. People having ill thoughts were not coming. But as soon as I will leave this world, all this Kali will set in. Dark age will set in. So there will be a lot of changes in the thoughts and actions of the people. What is Kali Yuga? Kali Yuga is when people is wrongly understand the thing. This everyone searches happiness and peace. In Kali Yuga, the search for happiness and peace becomes in the material things, not in the exactly where they are in the Atman, but in the material outside things. The senses all go around and they think if I get this, if I become that, that will make great happiness. That will be make me permanently happy and secured. This is Kali Yuga, Annagata Prana, where this mm, prana is all depend on this Anna or this body. Body becomes everything in Kali Yuga, and they forget the existence of the being as Atman, and the body becomes everything. So to decorate the body, make it strong, enjoy the external thing, whatever the world gives, and that becomes at the source of all the joy. They don't even have idea these are not the real joy. This is Naswara, this comes and goes, and this really doesn't give any joy. It is today it gives joy, next day it gives pain. That's how the world and worldly things are. But Kali Yuga, human mind is deluded and they search for permanent peace and joy in impermanent things that do not have peace and so that are not capable of giving peace and joy permanently, but seems like as if they are giving. That's what Kali Yuga. Very time when people do not understand the reality of ever existing eternal self is forgotten, and this body, ever changing body, is taken up as the Atma. Dehatma buddhi. Buddhi becomes Dehatma, this I am body. That type of buddhi comes in Kali Yuga. So Sri Krishna says, when I leave this world, Kali Yuga will come, and you are noble soul. You should not be affected by that. I will teach you about the thing. नवस्तव्यम त्वयैवेह मया त्यक्ते महीतले जनो धर्म रुचिर भद्र भविष्यति कलौ युगे. Thou too shouldst not stay here after I leave the earth. For, O good soul, men will be addicted to evil in the iron age. So, not stay here means not to be worldly. So, Uddhava didn't go after as soon as the Krishna went. But the thing is, he said, don't live here, don't be worldly. Try to keep your mind in spiritual reality when I am left. So here it will be your good soul. Here the men will be all addicted to evil in the iron age. The evil is trying to search in search that the joy and peace and blessedness in the thing that do not have that. That is Maya. Maya is what? When we search something which is not there, that is Maya. We are searching snake. Where is the snake gone? A snake is not there. That becomes Maya. This world all seems to be so happy, joyful, and search all the joys and permanent joy here, eternity, immortality in this world. When we start searching that in the world, that becomes Maya. So, when the Maya has set in, oh good soul, you are a wise person, you are a spiritual person, pure hearted person, a devotee. So, for you also, I say, do not stay here. I think it means not the world, but the your Dwaraka. So do not stay here and go to some place where you can be freely think of the spirituality and do spiritual practice, not being affected by the people here. Not Men will be addicted to evil in the iron age. And when they find that there is joy in material things, in money, in enjoyment, in that, then wherever there is joy, they will try to see that. And if they think that possessing all these things, joyful things, will give me joy, they will try to possess that unlawfully. Unlawfully possessing is like robbing, stealing, and even doing all the nonsense things they could do. Just they want to be happy and try it, and because they feel non-valuable thing, tuchha thing as very valuable, and that is the Maya. And by how this Maya came? By the power or impact of Kali Yuga. This all the yugas they rotate. Satya, Treta, Dwapara, and Kali. All this they rotate one after another. It comes. Now Sri Krishna came in the Dwapara age of Dwapara Yuga, and he lived at the end of Dwapara Yuga. After he left his body, Kali set in. When the Kali set in, then all this thought about that will happen to many persons. Now, this Kali Yuga and Satya Yuga and Dwapara Yuga is also not for everyone. In Satya Yuga also there were evil people. There were people who destroyed the Yagyas, Asuras were there, Rakshasas were there. And in Kali Yuga also there are very noble souls who are ready to help others, and ready to serve others, ready to give joy to others, and very noble souls are there in this Kali Yuga. So Kali Yuga is again, it depends on what our mind is, then whether we are in Kali Yuga or Satya Yuga. When Swami Vivekananda said, after the birth of Sri Ramakrishna, Satya Yuga has started. So, what does it mean? When Sri Ramakrishna is born with his spiritual aura, spiritual power, and that spreads everywhere. And those people who are wise enough to follow the path of spirituality as shown by Sri Ramakrishna, and finding where the real joy is, it is in God, not in the world. So if they adopt to what Sri Ramakrishna has taught and follow Sri Ramakrishna, their life will be noble. So there will be no touch of Kali to them. they will live in truth, finding where the real substance is, where the vastu is. Everything is avastu, Sri Ramakrishna said. Vastu is the thing of value. Everything is without value. Avastu, Ishwar I vastu. Only God is vastu. God alone is the valuable thing. Everything else other than God is without any importance, any value. That's what Sri Ramakrishna taught. And those who can understand that and don't give importance to the things of the world and give importance to the real valuable thing, the God. So they live in Satya Yuga. Though they may be born in now. When Sri Krishna left, Kali Yuga had set in, but Kali Yuga doesn't touch them. They live in Satya Yuga. So after Sri Ramakrishna is born, Satya Yuga has started. For whom? For those who who try to live their life spiritually, give importance to spiritual aspect of their being, and find joy in spiritual truth. For them, Satya Yuga, Satya Yuga has been born, Satya Yuga is there. Not for others. For others, it is Kali Yuga, Ghor Kali, they say, where it doesn't match at all. So much materialistic the people have become, and for them, without any understanding, they just run after the material things, which has no value, no joy, no peace, no blessedness, no bliss at all. And people run after that. So if I could get that, it happens that way. So among that also there are people who live in Satya Yuga, in this Kali Yuga, and they are at peace. So this one of the person like that is Uddhava, the great devotee. Jano adharma ruchir bhadra. So he said that, oh good soul, oh Bhadra, men will be addicted to evil. Adharma ruchi. They will not have dharma ruchi, adharma ruchi. Adharma is something that should not be done. And people will find addiction or inclination to do that. That is the sign of Kali Yuga. What we should not do, we do that. So that's what Sri Krishna said about the Kali Yuga. त्वं तु सर्वं परित्यज्य स्नेहं स्वजन बंधुषु मय्यावेश्य मनः सम्यक् समदृग् विचरस्व काम. Giving up thy love for thy kinsmen and friends, and renouncing everything, roam thou over the world with evenness of vision, fixing thy mind wholly in me. Totally withdraw your mind from the world, and you live in me. What Jesus said? Jesus said, let dead bury the dead, and you follow me. That is the what message of Sri Krishna already gave before Jesus. He said that don't be attached to any your kinsman. Swajana bandhu. Swajana means your own kinsman. Bandhu means your friends. Don't parityajya. Parityajya sneham, your love, your attachment to them. What is sneha? Is thinking that they are my own. So give up that idea, and the sarvam all this you give up that idea in mind. Then samadrik vicharaswagam, and be even minded. Even mindedness, equanimity is a sign of mukti, sign of spiritual awareness. Mm, Samata sarvabhuteshu etan muktasya lakshanam. That's what Swami Vivekananda quotes from scripture in some of his autographed photos, his own photos. Samata sarvabhuteshu etan muktasya lakshanam. So equanimity to all beings. Equanimity to all beings means not only beings, but to all situations, that are also equal. That's why they say Shitosna Sukha Dukkada Agama Payino Nitya Tanstitiksha Bharata Samadukha Sukham Dhiram Somrita Tvaya Kalpati. One who can take with equal eyes, equanimity, Sukha and Dukkha, pain and happiness, and summer, heat and cold, with even mindedness. So he goes beyond all suffering. So that's what says Sri Krishna here, that samadrik vicharaswagam, and be even sighted, and then you trot, trot this world, you walk on this world, vicharaswagam, you move on this world, And how can that happen? How can we attain this equanimity? There are people who will be helpful to us. There will be people who will be anti against us. How can I see equal in them? Because we have to see that they all work with their nature, nothing there. So don't be attached to those who are helpful to you, and don't think anything ill about those who are not helpful to you. Try to know that it is God who has made them that way. So nothing should be your, you should look at equal eye, evenness among those things. What about summer heat and cold? Yes, heat and cold, treating them equally. It's not that you won't feel cold in winter, you won't feel sweating and perspiration in summer. It's not that. You will feel that. But you will be able to accept the thing as it is. So you will not be, it's so hot in summer. Oh, you will not be dejected. You will not be, you will not be disturbed by heat in summer or cold in winter. By knowing the fact that winter will be cold, in Canada it will snow, in summer it will be hot, in India it will be very hot. So with all that knowledge, you become equal and accept the thing as they come. So that is called being of even-mindedness. That's what samadrik is. Samadrik is, oh, you don't feel cold, you don't feel hot, you don't understand who is good, who is friend, and who is not that. You understand, but it doesn't matter to you. You take all equally. Your respect for those who love you and those who do not love you is same. Your prayer for those who love you and those who hate you are same. And your attitude towards them is not changed. Their attitude towards you may be different, but your attitude towards them is all of equal mind. You pray for both equally. You know God resides in their heart equally, and you accept that good person is good, bad is bad, because they have been made that way by their samskaras, by the will of God. Whatever you say, that's how their nature is. So they cannot change their nature. It's not that they have become like that, but they cannot change their nature, and it happens that way. And another thing, who the person who is like envious to me, is not hateful to me, is not the person who is always hating to everyone. Somehow it didn't gel with me, with character. Somehow it did happen by God's will. But that person is not bad person. Some he is good. As a father, he may be very good person. As a husband, he may be good person. As a wife, she may be very wonderful person. So it's not that you cannot blame that person as the bad. Because she behaves me that way, that person is very bad. This is short-sightedness. This is not the thing. How one behaves to me doesn't categorize that person. That is her person's behavior, or that person's behavior with you. That you can say that is like that. But we should not label a person by how a person behaves with me. That will be very wrong, because that person who is not good to me may be very good to other person. So you cannot just say that person is bad. That person behavior with me is little, if I wish he would have been different, but made by God or some skaras, is that way. Something had happened. Maybe today it happened that way. After some time again, goodwill will come. Thoughts will change. Many times are there when one person's opinion about other totally changes. It just changed in a very good direction. Didn't love, nothing was there. Suddenly something happened, because the evil is not the heart of the person. In the heart always God and good reside. So somehow it happens that way. Then by God's grace, it doesn't take much time. In short time, maybe a good relation will be there. So that's why we have to be always optimistic, prayerful, not hateful to anyone. When we hate someone, it is not the person we hate suffers, we suffer because of our hatred towards others. Why will we invite suffering? The power I have not to hate anyone. Then why I will hate and suffer? The suffering is not caused by that person, suffering caused by myself. So hatred should go. We should not hate anyone. So always having the equanimity and same-sightedness towards others. And how will that come? Sri Krishna says in this very verse, Maya Veshya Manaha. Maya Aveshya Manaha. That alone will make you same sightedness, and then you can give up your attachment to the world and your relations, and then you can move in the world with even even-mindedness. Mayi aveshya mana. Your mind should be avishta, means absorbed in me. Your mind should be in me. That means what? When mind is absorbed in God, so where is the time to see who is hateful, who is bad, who is insulting? You always you are thinking of God, that supreme bliss that is in you. You have already, your mind is thinking of your chosen idea or the Ishvara, that Satchit Ananda you are thinking. And when you are thinking of Satchit Ananda, when you are always in the Ananda, that's what Avishya, always absorbed in that Satchidananda. Because all these forms of God are Satchidananda only. Why we find so much joy when we worship Sri Krishna or make a darshan of Baki Bihari Lal in Vrindavan? Why? Because it is Satchidananda taking that form, and that form is represented by that image, which is worshipped by so many people, come with devotion, seeing God there. That's why it is so blissful and peaceful when we go to some places of pilgrimage or some temples, and that idea of Satchidananda, seeing there, will become more intense if we could put our mind and think about that. Just you go and see the ritual, see the arati and offering of bhoga and all that. That will give no doubt there is some joy, some divine thing. God is there. But if we could try to feel the presence of God by just focusing, by contemplating the presence of the Satchidananda in the image that I am observing, in the photograph that is in front of me. It is the representation of Satchidananda. Then there will be more intenser avishya or avishta in God in us. And our joy will be more, our peace will be more. That's how it happens. When we go to temple or places of worship and do meditation with concentration, then when we have really could absorb and become our mind, we could put in God, then the external disturbance also doesn't matter. Children are talking, then they are playing, and people are talking about this, that thing. We should not find that, oh, complaint. Oh, they are talking about in the temple. Why they are talking about that? People, you cannot close the mouth of everyone. But what you can close is your mind getting disturbed from the people's behavior with themselves. They are not disturbing you. They are talking about them. Why you have to listen to that? Sit in a corner, don't listen to that, and just try to focus on the bliss of your Ishta. So joyful, blissful, smiling, radiating, all that. And if you could see it like that, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, even that, then you'll find that joy doesn't matter at all. Children jumping and crying and the people talking, doesn't matter. That is what is called Maya Veshyamana, when we can put our mind in God. So Sri Krishna says that put your mind in me, Mayi, to in me, in God, in Satchidananda, and be of Samadrik, of even-mindedness. That automatically happens. When I put our mind in God, its Samadrik will always come. So that is so wonderful that one way we become like put our mind is God, think of God, all this quality will come. Samadrik vicharasvagam, go and move around the world. And it says tvam tu sarvam parityajya sneham swajana bandhusu. And this attachment, sneha, you have to say it here, not the real love for the people. We need to love everyone, not because swajana, he is my kinsman and he's my friend, they are my friends, not that way, but because they are the manifestation of the divine. If that way you think of the people, you don't get attached, and your love is for all. So you are not bound and attached. You can move away from them. But when you get attached to someone, that is the bondage. So we have to break the bondage with the idea of God is the one who has become all this. It is God that has come in front of me in so many my relations and all that. All relations are temporary bond. It's not permanent bond. It is not very strong bond. For the time being, it's wonderful. So we need to perform our duty, responsibility for towards our family members and towards our children and all that. And when time comes, when we have that sort of attitude, you enjoy. You enjoy more if you could think that it is God Himself who has come as my son or my daughter or my friend, and that for the time being, everything in the world is time being. Don't think anything is permanent. So, if you know from the beginning that I am with this child till it grows like 15, 16 years, after that, he or she will go to university and college, and then she will get a job and work and live separately. I would like to live, have his or her own way of life. So you don't get trouble. Oh, my son is not living with me, because we don't have source of that joy anywhere else. That's why we find living with our children or our the loved ones only is the source of joy. We have forgotten the real source of joy is God. And when God is left aside, and we try to find the joy only in the world and in the wrong way, then the trouble comes. One day they go, and you are left alone because you have not been able to find the source of joy somewhere else. You thought that it is very shocking for you. It will take time to recover, and by God's grace, naturally, we will take you towards Himself. And when God takes us towards Himself by His grace, then we can withstand the pain which we should have never got, because children grow. And we ourselves, if we look at our lives, what we do, we study, then we get a job, then one day comes a call from Canada, come to Canada, and then we leave. Parents are so sad. You are going, we look after us. What is that? When will you come back? Go and work for a few years, 3, 4, 5 years, then come back. We're getting old. And then you say, no, we are settled well. My child is here. It's a secure life. Then what will happen? What is happening to our parents? They're also sad if they are not devoted to God. They will also be sad. And we created that sadness in our parents, and yet we become sad by when our children create the same thing to us. It is very foolishness. There's no wisdom in it. We are not wise if we do that way. The wisdom will be not to be attached to our children, not to be attached to anyone in life. If we have to be attached to only one being, and that is God. If we are attached to God, our relationship with everyone is very sweet. You don't have any problem from anyone, because you don't expect. You have become so joyful in living in connection and in relationship with God. You don't expect anything from anyone. And if someone does something to you little, you are so happy. Doesn't do, then also you're happy. No complaint, no fault finding with anyone. And to that person, someone comes and someone grows and goes to home. Nothing can bring suffering. That person has gone beyond suffering. Dukkhati go. So he's gone beyond all dukkhas. So that's how this Maya Vesya Mana, that manas has to be trained. It's not easy. Our mind and senses are all made outgoing. They just, by their very nature, they want to go out and search the world, and very sticky world. And they got, and our this mind is also very sticky. It has made only sticky. The world is sticky. Mind, if it is sticky, it will stick to God also. But mind doesn't want to stick with God. So world is sticky. It falls on something and it sticks. Attachment, and then attachment, then trying to wish to grab and possess and keep in wherever you feel it is yours. If your house is yours, you want to keep something nice in, you want to bring that and buy and bring it house. If you have your room and you think your room is yours, you don't keep it in others room, you will keep and secretly take that to your room. Like that, this attachment and this grabbing and hoarding comes in human mind, totally false and source of great suffering. So that happens if we are not wise enough to see the things in its real right perspective, and not to be able to have a love for God. So love of God has to be developed, it has to be created, it has to be nurtured. Then only we will live this life very happily, so happily that nothing can make us unhappy. Nothing, no situation, whether it's physical situation or a relationship situation or circumstantial situation, nothing can make us unhappy. We are immune to unhappiness. emptiness going to nothing. For that, spiritualizing our thoughts. Maya Vesya Manaha. Maya Vesya Mano Emam Nitya Yukta Upasate, says Sri Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita. Here also he says, Maya Vesya Manaha. Be that. Giving up thy love for thy kinsmen, Sneha is translated as love, literally. So love is called sneha, no doubt. Sneha is also called for the grease or fat is also called sneha. So you know how the grease is so slippery? The sneha is also very slippery. Today is there, after some time it's not there. So it is not very binding and permanent. So be careful about this sneha. So give up this sneha. Keep yourself dry. It is slippery ground you are treading, which will bring you suffering. Sneham swajana bandhusu. Don't be attached to anyone, not to your people. That does mean that don't care for them. Far from that. If you really love God, if you are Maya Veshamana, Sri Krishna, you have put your mind in Mai, that's Sri Krishna, then you will love everyone more. That is the power of God and our mind becoming pure and becoming attached to God. Our love and care for the people to whom we are not attached, not bound, becomes more intense, more vigorous. That becomes our love for them. People become more intense. The story in the in in that Krishna had gone to, in the Bhagavatam, Krishna had gone to take care of the cows and cattle, and somehow Brahma thought, I have to test him, whether he's God or not. Brahma himself requested Krishna to come. You see, in Maya, when Brahma also gets deluded, that's what the Maya is. Brahma, the creator, when he is in the creation and all that, he forgot that by his request, Narayana himself came to this world as Krishna. Seeing the small boy doing a lot of miraculous work, he thought he's really God or not. Just he wanted to be confirmed himself. And he hid all the other cowherds and the calves and the cattle, all cows and bullocks, in somewhere. Krishna comes from a little, had gone outside in the meadow itself, and find no one is there. And by meditation, the young boy Krishna, he understands it's all the play of Brahma. Oh, he wants to taste me, so he doesn't go on search. He could have found that where he has said. But what he does, instead of searching all where they are, he creates exactly who and what were there. Exactly same duplicate he creates. Krishna can create. They can create through their thought. That is the power of God. Through mere thought, they can create this universe. It is said that Brahma created this universe how? By mere meditation, by thought, he created this universe. And till he is thinking, this universe is there. And when he closes eyes and his mind is gone in sleep, and this creation also is gone. Creation lost, or pralaya has come, Mahapralaya has come. Why? The thinker has slept. It's all a dream. You see, someone dreaming, that it becomes so important thing for us. Just it is a dream of someone that we also start dream and we take it as the real. So Sri Krishna made exactly calves and cows and cattle and the cowherd boys as he had brought, as he had come with his own mind. He created that, and they were going. Um, Evening it came, and they were going to Gokula, and they like every day in the same time and same number of people, same exactly he has created, right duplicate copy, 3D printing. So then, but there was little difference. When they approached their parents, the mothers felt so much greater love for their son that didn't experience earlier. Everyone felt greater attraction for their children, and not only the human being, but even the cows seem to be more having a lot of greater intensified affection to their calves, like that. They were thinking the calves who had not gone to the grassland when they were very little, they felt more love and attraction for their parents, for their mother. So like that it happened. Why did it happen? Because it was God himself who had become that. So when we see God in everything, then there is greater love. So for that, how to see God in everything? To that Maya Vesya Manaha. Put your mind in God, one aspect. Think of God always. Then automatically the thought of God. God is such a thing. It isn't confined in one place. God is all pervading. You begin with confined idea of God. God is there in my heart. God is there in the temple. God is in there in the picture. We start there, begin. But as our love for God increases, our feeling of the presence of God becomes more real. Then this idea that God is not there only, it also just comes. And we find that it's God who has become all. Then our love for, when we start seeing divine in the being that we deal with, in the things of this universe, this world, in the plants and the rivers and the stars, they become more lovable. And our relationship with them becomes more sweeter and gives a greater joy. Then you are dwelling not only in one form of God, the God becomes varied form, and that is the power of spiritual maturity. It comes through the nurturing of bhakti or love of God, or through knowledge, the same thing. Let's go to next verse. यदिदं मनसा वाचा चक्षुर्भ्यां श्रवणादिभिः नश्वरं गृह्यमाणं च विद्धि माया मनोमयम्. Whatever is cognized by the mind, speech, eyes, ears, and the rest, know it all to be a figment of the mind, a phantasmagoria, and withal doomed to pass away. Whatever we perceive with what? We perceive with the senses and the mind. All this is the figment of the mind. All mind has made. It is all creation of the mind. So as mind creates, that's how we see the thing. Actually, seeing a thing as good and bad is also a creation of the mind. In the thing itself or the being itself, good and bad is not so much as is in our mind. So this is the figment of the mind created by this phantasmagoria, means something fantasy. And by the Maya, you see, Naswaram Grihamanam cha Vidhi Maya Manomayam. This is the Maya of the mind. Maya is something that we see which is not as such. That is Maya, Mithya. So here Maya Manomayam Naswaram Grihamanancha. So this is Naswara. It is all it's and with all doomed to pass away. Naswara. What is Naswara? Naswara, which is not permanent, which is destructible. Swa na bhavati is Naswara, which is not last till tomorrow. Swa means tomorrow. So it's going to change. Nothing will be living here. And on that, if we get attached, then it is our foolishness. Don't be attached to these things. If you do that way, idam yet, you are do it, you will be always caught by the Maya, Manomaya, Maya. So don't be caught by that. And how do we interact with the Maya? With the mind and Vacha Chakshurvyam Sravanadivi, and with the speech, eyes, ears, and the smell and the sound and the vision, all these sensations that we interact with the world. And all these are created, this interact, and this is not permanent. And we think all the way that we think, and all created by the mind, and they do not last till tomorrow. What they do not last? They do not last as we think today. Tomorrow it will be different. Thought will be different. And of course, in this existence, in this created thing, they also are lost. But idea that they are Naswara is not only physically, but as they are created in our mind, tomorrow our opinion for the things will be different. What we like today will not like so much tomorrow. You see one some nice thing, you are very attracted attached to that, you want to purchase that, want to buy that, want to procure that thing, and you like that very much. The day you like, the day you buy that, then you are very happy, as if you have got everything that can make you happy. But next day, your joy is going to be less. And as the days roll on, joy is going to be less. Why? Nashwara. It is everything is changing here. Always you thought all goodness and you imposed all idea of all bliss and joy because you desired something. And by that your attraction born of your desire, that attraction made it look so good. And after that, this art, all this charm and this all is going to change. Naswara, so tomorrow is not the same way. It is being changed every day. So that's how the change is the world. Maya is ever changing. So if we think that the thing will remain same for throughout our life, nothing remains same throughout life. Not even our body, not even our mind. Relationships change. That our attraction, what we like today, tomorrow we do not like. See about the food. When you were young, you liked something very nicely. After some time, you don't like. Many people are there. They say, "No, I don't relish that food anymore. I don't eat that." So change comes. Naswara, all that is destroyed. Your taste for that food is destroyed. Your liking for that object is destroyed. Your attachment to that person is all gone, become diluted. So like that it happens. That's why this Naswara, this world is Naswara, and what we perceive through our manasa, vacha, chakshurgham, sravana divi, sravana, nasika, tvak, all that comes in sravana divi. All these are temporary things. So do not get caught by the temporary thing, but try to seek the permanent, and there is the real joy. So be aware of, have that much knowledge, see the things how they change, little wisdom, little penetration deeper into the nature of this ever changing world, ever changing relationship. And you do not, when you understand that, then you accept the changes. And when you accept the changes, then you do not suffer because of the changes that come. It's very natural it comes. It is the way the world is. That's how the creation is. So there is no suffering because of the changes that is coming. Very good friends, the friendship may become loosened. So that is the nature of the world. You are very well understood. Some person may misunderstand you. Your close friend may misunderstand you by something or other. That may happen. That happens to everyone. That is the nature of the world. When that happens, you are not disturbed. Somehow that is the way the world goes. So today he has misunderstood. Maybe another day he will rightly understand. So that is your opinion. You are not disturbed by the world at all. You have become so strong in your love of God, in your wisdom of this ever changing world, understanding of ever changing world, that whatever changes happen to you or to your surrounding and circumstances do not disturb you. You are same peaceful, and you accept the world's design as it works. Do not get disturbed. That's what the sign of a spiritual person. He is established in in the reality, in something that is permanent. And that permanence, that permanent peace, when we are established in that, we call God. When we are established in that, changes do not bother us. Changes we accept. Okay, this has to be changed. So everything is changing, doesn't matter. And that comes to changing in our physical condition, our age, and our health. Health will sometimes be changed. That also will not bother. When we have health, Sri Ramakrishna said, when we are sick, oh, I have become sick. Nobody is asking what is it. I have been not able to sleep, and no quest, no queries. It's like that will not come. Okay, it doesn't matter at all. So like that is a part of life. It is sick, well today, tomorrow it will be sick, again it will be well, and finally when we will die, then it will sick, and finally it not become well. That also we accept. One day we all have to die. No fear of death at all. Body has been created, and you didn't create it by your willing. Oh, I want to be born, I want to grow like this, and you didn't create. And why, when body was created by the law of that it will one day die, why you in the middle you come that no, I should live forever? You didn't create a permanent body. It was created by the law of this creation that it is born and it will die. And you in the middle start, no, I have to live longer. How much long? At least 90 years. After 90, oh, maybe few years more, maybe 100, people say century. And world is like that. Oh, now you'll have make a century, you have to live for 100 years. And all which is suffering and pain and aches, and all the systems all tired, organs tired. Still, you want to live for 100 years. What for? This has to go after 10 years, 100 years or not. Then you have to go. So, no fear of giving up this body. When we are born, we will die. If we are body, we identify with the body. The body will die. Then the question comes, why body failing, disease, old age, pain? Why the person is so happy in that condition also, where all they cry and complain? Because he has found the permanence. He knows that he is servant of God. He is always secured in the thought of God. Or he knows he is the Atman. And that's why he is not disturbed by the changes in the nature. Prakriti Vikriti Shunyam. Prakriti will be always Vikriti. There will be change in the Prakriti. And this Sri Ramakrishna, Prakriti Vikriti Shunyam. Like that, we become not disturbed by the changes in the world. That is what the Sri Krishna wants Uddhava to live like that, a great, like a yogi, by the power of wisdom, knowledge, realization of God is one, realization of the nature of this creation itself is a great wisdom. For that, we have to have love for God, to stand somewhere. Verse 8. पुंसो युक्तस्य नानार्थो भ्रमः स गुणदोष भाग कर्मा कर्म विकर्मेति गुणदोष धियोभिधा. The man of uncontrolled mind falls into the error that there is a plurality of objects, and this error leads to merit or demerit. Now, this plurality, here Sri Krishna is talking about the Advaita Jnana. You see, this plurality, as we say, as we see, is not there. It doesn't exist. It is just our creation. It is one God that appears as many. When our sights are set right, we are, because all our, you may have a vision 20 by 20 or 6 by 6, whatever they say, but we are all defective eyes. Minds are defective, no, in the sense. So we see that God in so many varieties, plurality, this, that, here, there, all that we see, but it's all one appearing as many. So this thing we forget, appearing as many is all reality one. So pungsa ayuktasya nanartha. What type of pungsa, what type of person is that? Ayukta, who is not of controlled mind, restless, fickle mind, changing, cannot think deeply into the nature of this creation, cannot think of God, has no power of heart purified to have love for God. Such type of person is called pungsa, is called ayukta pungsa. And what does he see? By Brahma nanartha. He says varieties, only difference. There is no, you cannot make any unity in the thing that is seen. Nowhere you can see the same thing going on. It's all divine, God, we all are human. Nothing like that. Everything it divides. The whole world seems like division. As Sri Ramakrishna says, put a rod, a stick on Ganga. And Ganga seems to be dividing one, this side of a stick, that side of a stick, divided into two. But has it really divided? No, it looks like divided because of the stick. Remove the stick, it is all flowing on. Stick looks like. Remove stick, it's same flowing one. Like that is the thing. So what is that stick that divides our vision of this oneness of God in so many varieties? That is called ayukta mana. The mind that is not yukta, that is not controlled, that is not purified, and only we see difference. And when we are in that Brahma, deluded, not seeing the thing rightly, Brahma is Maya. And Saguna dosha bhag. And that person sees guna and dosa. Such person is guna dosha bhag, filled with seeing merit and demerit, good and bad. If you have no idea of understanding of the nature of the world, and you cannot find the presence of one reality, you can see only garland of different flowers, and but cannot perceive the thread that goes through all the flowers, then what will happen? You see only different flowers, only differences. It is big, it is small, it is red, it is white, only that. But what holds that garland together is that thread that is same, one and same, that goes through all the flowers. So, like that, the divinity that goes through all of us, one divinity, that is our real being. Unless we see that, we will see only the difference. And for that person, by Brahma, that's called Brahma. And such person is only seeing merit and demerit, good and bad, always that he will be seeing. Karma, akarma, vikarmeti, guna dosa, dhiyo, vida. Vida means by the difference of action, inaction, and evil action concern only the man who has ideas of merit and demerit. Guna dosa, vida. Who sees that only guna and dosa, merit and demerit, good and bad, always in everything sees that. For such person is, Sri Krishna saying very from high stand. For such person is karma, akarma, and vikarma. There is karma is called the things that we should perform. By not performing such things, there will be evil thing. That there will be demerit. There will be bad samskar, bad action will be there. Karma phala will not be good. So that's called karma, which we need to perform. Vihita karma is called karma. What is akarma? Akarma is inaction, or the action, whether it is performed or not performed, doesn't give any result. It is same. That's called akarma. And what is vikarma? Vikarma are the nishiddha karma. Karma is the vihita karma, the action, the work that you should perform, that has been said by the Shastras. And if you do not perform that, then there will be pratyavaya, there will be demerit, and you need to perform that. And karma, akarma is doesn't matter whether you perform or not. And vikarma is if you that those are nishiddha karma. You should not do that. If you do perform those things, you act those things, then you will get bad samskaras, bad karma phala. So nishiddha karma gives us, if done, it is asked, don't do that. It is not to do that. Don't tell a lie, don't cheat other person. So those are all nishiddha karma. So if you do that, then there is the evil effect upon you. And here it doesn't say, Sri Krishna doesn't say that this is the result of karma, akarma and vikarma. He says those who see karma and akarma and vikarma, guna dosha dhiyo, whose mind is beset with guna dosha adi. So they see only good and bad, and they see this karma is to be done. If not done, there will be bad result. If done, there will be, and this karma if done is good, is bad result. So all this karma and vikarma and the akarma, all those who see are person of less understanding. They are not wise persons. So don't be that unwise person. And those unwise person, why, who are unwise? Ayuktasya. Mind is not yukta, it is not attached, not to 100% to itself mind, or not it is attached to God, not it's inclined to God, or not it is with him or her 100%. It's all scattered around. So many things. Ayuktasya. When it happens, only good and bad is seen. Not able to uh, find the real thing in this world. Always, always finding and judging things and people. This is a sign of scattered mind, ayukta mind. They are all beset with guna dosa bhag. They are only guna and dosa. They are always judging what is good and what is bad. And for such person, there is karma, vikarma, and akarma. But Sri Krishna says, if you are established, you are yukta mana, you are established in God, you have controlled mind, then doesn't matter karma, vikarma, karma, all are gone. Your duties towards world are gone. What you do and what other does doesn't matter to you. You remain in equanimity. Equanimity can come only because of that. Not seeing fault can come only if we are devoted to God, if only we are spiritual. Otherwise, with every step, every person will be saying good or bad. Every action will be judging, oh, that is not the right thing. Oh, that person did that wrong. It is not the person's wrongdoing. It is, we have to understand, it is mistake in me. The Maya, Brahma is in me. My mind is not yet settled in God. My mind is ayukta, as Sri Krishna said in the Uddhava Gita. If my mind is yukta, then no problem. It is a spiritual mind. The controlled mind, the purified heart is all spiritual mind and heart. And such mind will not matter that for that person. You become udara sarve vaite. They become udara manasa, but they become broad-minded. Little thing what they do doesn't matter for them. They cannot come so low that it's something little something they said something and you said, oh, that person behaved me so rudely. What did he behave? Oh, when he came, he didn't even say good morning to me. What has happened to me? What does he think himself to be? Like that will come if we are ayukta. If we are yukta, then we become broad. Who said good morning and who didn't say any good morning? Doesn't matter. You don't even notice. Oh, he didn't say good morning. I didn't know. You don't have any desire. This all comes from our expectation of something. This very sign of a scattered mind, ayukta mana. So if we maya vesya mana, if we have love for God and our mind is centered in God, that mind is pure mind. And when mind is pure, it is controlled mind. When mind is controlled, yuktamana, then it sees the right thing. Brahma is gone. It doesn't matter a small thing, it doesn't care. And life becomes so wonderful person you become. Your whole thing transforms. You are not the same person as you were before you understood how we should make our life. This construction of our life and transformation into spiritual life is the main thing that we need to work upon ourselves. Other work, office work, they will happen by the law of nature. You go to office, you work hard, you produce something, you succeed in your research and your study. That will happen by its course. But what about making your own self spiritual? That is making yourself what you are. You are all in Brahma. You even don't understand anything about yourself, and you just live in the life of misery. Just because you are not giving importance to your going to your own roots, and that root is spiritual root, where you are your own spirit. That's so blissful, beautiful you are, and you don't take care of that to make it always blissful and beautiful, and you all make it dirty with disturbed mind and your wrong ideas about the world and lot of desires and expectation and possession and getting very upset in little things, and you make your own beautiful mind so ugly, your heart is so ugly. Who made that? No one else but ourselves. All responsibility is ours. So we have to try to make ourselves full and whole and complete and as it is. No Brahma, no Maya. We have to go beyond Maya. That's called going beyond Maya. When we understand our true divine nature, when we understand our divine nature, then we start seeing everything as divine. It starts from here. And that's how we need to change ourselves, change our thoughts and ideas by understanding the nature of the world. If that is done, then it's a Tejasvina Vadhitamastu. In the Shanti Mantra of Kathopanishad, we said, may our study be illuminating. Illumination is that we really understand what should we do, why there is wrong, why I suffer so much, why there I see so much misery in the world. There is none in the world. I see so much, and it's so much affectation on me. How it can happen? Just by making ourselves and understanding our true self by seeing God residing in our hearts. Thank you. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat Sri Ram Krishna Arpanamastu Jananim Saradam Devim Ramakrishnan Jagadgurum Padapadme Tayo Shritva Pranamami Muhurmu. Good night to everyone. Next Friday we'll again meet on the scripture class and the scripture class. Thank you.